We make Mondays better, cause The View is live. Trump tailspin. The president's loudest advocates were all over TV, scrambling to make the case against impeachment. But did they just make matters worse?
Please, can I just make my point?
Plus, Rob Lowe's hitting the table. He's sharing stories he only tells his friends, from life with the Brat Pack to Parks and Rec and beyond. And a brand new View Your Deal. The House of Hot Topics is in session with Whoopi, Abby Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
We want to say Shana Tova to everyone celebrating Rosh Hashanah. That's Happy New Year. Happy, hope it all goes well for everybody who's celebrating and for everybody who's not too. And you know whose biggest fans made a full court press on Sunday news shows to try to spin this story on impeachment inquiries against you-know-who. They were all over the map. It was like bad tennis. Really bad tennis. Well, take a look.
Mueller wasn't a witch hunt, but this is Salem witch trials have more due process than this.
The President of the United States is the whistleblower, and this individual is a saboteur trying to undermine a democratically elected government.
I want to know all about them. I want to know what kind of dogs they have, how many marriages they've had, if they have a DUI. I want to know if they're a partisan. I want to know everything.
We've all seen the transcript. There's nothing there. So I respectfully disagree with my colleagues who think that there needs to be a further inquiry here.
I wouldn't cooperate with Adam Schiff. I think Adam Schiff should be removed.
That's your answer. You're not going to cooperate.
I didn't say that. I said I will consider it.
You said you wouldn't do it.
You said
you will not cooperate with Adam Schiff.
I said I will consider it.
The audience is hysterical. It's like a comedy routine.
But it's crazy. So here's what we know. We know what he said. Because he said it.
Yes.
We know all the stuff he said he did because he said he did it. And they're fact-checking him on the stuff he said with his own words. So now here come, I guess, the Rolling Thunder trying to tell you that he didn't say what he said when he said it because he didn't say what he said when he said it.
That's it. You got that right.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. And I did that straight.
Yeah. When will they be on Dancing with the Stars, all of them? That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, that's what I'm wondering is it worth it for you?
Yeah.
What are you wanting out of this? Do you want a job in the White House? Are you worried that you're not going to get reelected if you don't stand by the president? Because these were the same voices, if you remember, about Hillary Clinton's emails. They were the shouting the loudest. And so what made me so upset over the weekend, it's just the blatant hypocrisy. It's staring us all in the face. And I do believe most Americans are smarter than we give them credit for. I think they see that. If the whistleblower, for example, gave information that were helpful to the president, they would all be saying he's a hero in the White House right now. And they'd be telling the media, keep his name private, protect this whistleblower. So I try and flip everything. I try and change the cards. And in this case, it all is backwards.
But they can't stop what they're doing because they didn't stop him when he attacked Meghan's dad. They didn't stop him when he attacked the handicapped, when he said the Charlottesville people the Nazis were good people. They didn't stop him then. So they have to stand by their malignancy.
But again, but why?
In a sense, you made such a good point during our morning meeting, which was
I was upset.
Well, she was. But when you usually see Republicans all on the same page, very, very good at messaging, I saw everybody all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, Lindsey Graham looked like he was about to have some sort of, I don't know what was going on with him. And then you have Mark Levin, who was really a part of the Reagan administration, who used to be pretty well respected. I don't know what was happening happening with him. Everyone had a different message, and that's something I don't think we've seen.
But no, there was one consistent theme.
The spin was off, I will say. So
It was spinning out of control.
I shouldn't have done this, and I concede this. I watched all of it. I watched every Sunday news show. I watched Jake Tapper. By the way, shout out to people like Jake Tapper, Ed Henry, Chris Wallace, George Stephanopoulos for really doing their jobs this weekend and holding their feet to the fire.
Fact-checking in real time.
Yes, in real time. I will say, I mean, really, they deserve props. Especially Ed Henry, who is getting really unwarranted crap for simply just asking questions. And he is a great journalist on Fox, and whatever. But I will say, when you're bringing up the deep state, when you're blaming the media, you're already lost. In any campaign, if you're blaming the media, it means like one of the wheels has fallen off. And what was fascinating to me is even during the Russia investigation, they all were very tight on the narrative that they were putting out, and their talking points were very clear. I agree with you. I just I kept watching, and I was like, nothing is making sense, and no one can seem to answer the question. And it's very simple. What was Trump asking to the president of the Ukraine? Was he asking for a quid pro quo? And none of his surrogates on TV seem to be able to give any other answer than the dark tinfoil hat deep state is coming out to get him. But this is why it's so important for conservatives on TV to not just go on TV every day and scream President Loco over and over again. It's important that we are honest about what's happening in real time, because right now, when people are asking me what's going on, I'm saying one wheel just fell off, and people are listening a little more clearly.
The question I would ask you, though, is all of this that they do, it muddies the water. It confuses people. Do you think that works
But they didn't do it effectively this time. That's what's different this time. Normally, they are very effective at muddying the water. This time, as you see with the polling going up, with people supporting impeachment, they failed this time.
I think it's very difficult, isn't it? How do you explain
Well, they also didn't do their homework. As you watched on 60 Minutes, Kevin McCarthy was asked by Scott Pelley about the transcript, saying, exactly how it was written. I want you to do me a favor. And he said, well, I want you to do me a favor. Well, now you're making up the words. And he said, well, I'm reading you the transcript. And he said, did he really say that? The transcript isn't long, by the way. It's only a few pages.
They didn't read it.
But speaking to your point, Megan, about this is a time where conservatives do need to speak out and not muddy the waters. Adam Kinzinger, who's someone that Kinzinger, who I used to interview a lot on Fox and is very well respected among
a Republican congressman,
and a former Iraqi vet. The president retweeted a tweet about if Democrats get him out of office, then that will create a civil war, to which he then responded, Adam Kinzinger, who said, he said, I have visited nations ravaged by civil war. I have never imagined such a quote to be repeated by a president. This is beyond repugnant.
Not to Lindsey Graham, it's not.
Can I just say one more thing that really bothered me again, because I was like stuck in my living room. I couldn't unhook myself. I was like an addict getting hits from each cable news show. But because it is a fascinating moment in time right now.
It was.
I will say, if any of the women on this show behaved the way some of the men were behaving, we would be hysterical, maniac, crazy bitches all over the internet. And these guys get away with behaving that way. And I was so angry.
They had come undone.
Yes, but the blatant sexism and the way some of these men are being covered and the way we're covered in the media, I was furious. I was like, if any of us went on TV, dropped and did screaming into the camera in like this direct way with props behind us, we would all be fired.
I agree with that.
Or at least
at least Stephen Miller came out in daylight. You have to give him that.
That's true. We don't see him very much.
But I thought it was very interesting that it was interesting that Biden's campaign had sent a letter out requesting that networks not put Giuliani on their networks and give him the airtime. I think they should allow Giuliani to speak over and over and over and over again.
Actually, there's my opinion. I think they should amend it. They should they shouldn't be upset that he's speaking, but he should be fact-checked every time he's on, because that's the problem. What he does is he gets on, I'm coming, he will get on and say insane stuff that makes no sense, and folks, because of time or whatever. But I think from now on, when Giuliani's on, people need to say, okay, Rudy, we're going to fact check that and we'll be right back. That's what needs to happen.
Later, SNL on impeachment. How Saturday Night Live's 45th season premiere put their spin on the whistleblower scandal.
The tweets keep coming fast and furious out of the White House. And I just, it's so un-American that someone who says, I think there's something bad going on is being subjected to death threats.
Oh, it's
that is not even, you know, even if you don't like somebody, if they're talking about something's wrong in the White House, you don't say we're coming to get you.
Yeah.
This is not how this is still America, and people are allowed. That's the job. You're allowed to be someone who says there's a problem.
By the way, there was a discussion, I think we had it last week, about one of the talking points from the right is that this whistleblower is partisan. And I yelled out, well, I have two words for you, Linda Tripp. And Megan didn't know what I was talking about, so let me explain.
No, I did. I just am not as up on the Lewinsky impeachment hearing as I.
But it was trending all weekend.
I said Joy was right because it was
Linda
#1 twin.
Linda Tripp was totally partisan. She's the reason that Clinton was impeached because she made what's her name, Lewinsky save the dress, which nailed the case.
Right. And testified
on
the fact that
this guy might be partisan is irrelevant, really, and he's probably not.
Well, it is irrelevant because we now have the
I do think there's a difference between Linda Tripp and someone in national security and someone who's like working for our government. But that being said, it already was there's a statement, and I didn't know we were doing this topic, so I didn't have this talking point for it. But I know that it's been said that through the council, and I think you know this, that they said that he wasn't or she wasn't.
No, but let me remind you that Deep Throat was an FBI agent.
I gotta rewatch all the President's Men. I'm trying to prep for this show
to your point, Whoopi, is there are laws that have been put in place to protect whistleblowers, and I think it should really concern every single American that this president is saying, I want to meet the whistleblower. He also has said
he want to meet the women who wanted to meet him,
right?
When he
didn't want to do that.
No, he didn't want to do that.
But he also wants to meet the people that work in the White House that talked to the whistleblower. And for me, that is classic witness intimidation.
That's right.
Classic witness
But not
intimidation.
only that.
That is very, very
But
scary.
exactly what you said, how unpatriotic.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you had Joe McGuire, who testified last week, who works in the Trump administration as head of DNI, who I felt so sorry for them. But he stood up for the whistleblower, and he said he did his job. Because you know what? He didn't go to CNN.
By the way, Stephen Miller
He went up the chain.
That's an important.
But he went up the chain. And you made this point, Sonny, that if you make it so people can't go up the chain, if you intimidate them like this,
they go to the media. They go to the media. The only thing that the issue that I took with the DNI was that rather than go to Congress, which is what he was supposed to do under the statute, he went to the White House. He went to the Department of Justice, and
which we can disagree
that was
on,
they were the very subject of the complaint.
Right.
So how do you go to the president when the president's in the complaint?
Don't threaten the whistleblower. That's my point. As an American citizen, I'm glad because I want to know if there's something that smells a little funny and it's coming from a place where I can't see. I need somebody looking out for the country, looking out for us, saying, I think this is not good.
Yeah.
Stop this idea of threatening people. Stop threatening people.
But
Stop it.
Such a tornado of stupid to choose from with his 46 tweets between last night and this morning.
Yeah.
It was a tornado of stupid. And as usual, my favorite one, well, it's not my favorite because it's horrible, but he was talking about if Democrats are successful in removing the president from office, it will cause a civil war.
Yes.
Like fraction in the nation, our country will never heal. You showed that last time.
Right.
Even joking about the idea of a civil war and the ramifications and what this country is already tearing itself apart. I believe it's going to get worse before it gets better.
And he's the perpetrator of it.
But the idea that you could throw that around so cavalierly in a way of...
Well, he does that.
I know, but...
He's never been to war. He doesn't have any idea what that
nervous,
is.
No one in his family.
But if he's this nervous...
Generations undone.
Generations of Trumps have never fought.
Tripp.
Have never fought.
Coming undone.
It's just, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to seep through a tornado of crazy, and it's not the easiest day here because there's a lot to choose from.
No, because there's a lot to choose from. But the bottom line
We're all on the same side.
something happened.
Because
Don't lose sight of this. He didn't do the right thing, the president.
Yeah.
He didn't do the right thing. That's the first and foremost thing. He had a conversation he shouldn't have had. And no amount of spinning it or trying to make us think we're nuts is going to change the fact that he was incorrect in what he did. And that's why they are coming after him. We'll be right back. today's Hispanic Heritage Month FYI, Sunny.
Thank you, Whoopi. Well, today we applaud the composer, lyricist, rapper, singer, actor, playwright, and producer behind one of the biggest hits in Broadway history, Lin-Manuel Miranda. That's right. He skyrocketed onto the scene with the musical based on his life growing up in a Latin American neighborhood in Upper Manhattan called In the Heights.
Love that show.
Wasn't it good?
Yeah.
Then he created the hottest ticket on Broadway, the brilliant Hamilton. He's won 3 Tony and 3 Grammy Awards, an Emmy, and a Pulitzer Prize. Miranda also has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Kennedy Center honor, and was named one of Time's 100 most influential people. And he is Puerto Rican. I had to throw that in.
Well, maybe he can help with this problem.
Yes.
Not just because he's Puerto Rican, but because he's so smart. If you cannot get your kids to do their homework, you may not be setting the right tone, according to a scientific study of 10,000 teenagers, researchers. This is insane. Researchers found that kids were less likely to do homework if their parents used a controlling tone of voice because it makes them feel like they don't have a choice. Okay, because, like, homework, apparently someone told them that it was a choice. When you go to school and the teacher gives you homework, it's for your good to do it. So it's not like a choice. It's like part of what you're supposed to do as a kid. You know, I guess no one told them that.
They didn't tell them.
Oh my God.
I know. I was a teacher, right? I taught
you
for
were a
many
teacher.
years.
Yeah.
I really don't believe in homework. I don't, especially the kids in elementary. I think it's a really stupid idea. They should do all their work during the day and then play. That's what I believe. So I told him, but on the other hand, my grandson's getting homework. He's got homework and he has extra credit homework that he doesn't want to do. He says, I don't need to do extra credit homework. So I said to him, look, Jeff Bezos did his extra credit homework.
That's right.
Bill Gates did extra credit.
Steve Jobs.
David Zaslav, Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Then I find out a few of them are college dropouts. So, but he'll never know that.
But
He will look it up and really bring it to you at dinner.
Well, how are you supposed to tell your teen that they have to do their homework?
You do it like your parent did it to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, look.
Do your homework.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're not going out until.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know what the tone.
There
What's
is
the proper
not.
tone?
The proper tone is, don't make me come over there and tell you again.
Yeah. Like, that should do it.
Well,
I
you know,
it was a choice.
It's
I mean,
not-
I don't know. I was basically raised in the Von Trapp family with like whistles and stuff, so I don't.
Yeah.
There were no choices with
No,
chores and
I don't get it.
homework and whatever. So
It's like,
I don't know.
I'm the adult. This is what you want to do, because I told you to.
Yeah.
I went to Catholic school with great nuns. It was like, you're going to do your homework because I told you to. Because in the future, this is going to work out best for you if you have some knowledge.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
It's your only
not
job.
a choice.
You could say like Trump never did his homework. That's a good way to.
Yeah, you could do that.
And
We'll
look
be
what
right
happened to
back.
him.
And look what happened.
So, a guy wrote into Slate's sex advice column saying he wants his wife of 35 years to give him all the details of her sexual history, and he had a really limited sex life before he met her, so hearing about hers seems to turn him on. She is totally not interested in talking to him about it.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, you know, it's like, it's mine. It happened, and why? Do you really want to know this, or you think this is good for you? I don't understand.
The key is that it turns him on. She's
that's the weird
over
part.
it. She's like, I don't want to turn you on. Get off of me.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
This is
that's what
verbal.
got me.
This is verbal Viagra for him.
Yeah, I'm just.
But for her, it's like it's enough already. I believe that.
I'm just
Well,
curious
yeah.
because I didn't have. I mean, the first time I lost my virginity was
I don't
with my
want to
husband.
know.
I have nothing to say. I have
sweet.
I
But
have
do you
nothing
wanna
to
hear
say
about
it.
your
But I have nothing to say.
I think it's sweet.
But I'm actually curious about my husband. So
I think
many
it's sweet.
times I'll ask him, and he's like, I don't. And then I regret asking him because then he'll tell me some things. And ironically, one of the girls he's told me about lives in our neighborhood. And I run into her at the coffee shop all the time.
Lives in your neighborhood?
Yeah, and I run into her getting coffee, and I'm like, Jeff, we need to leave. This is not good.
Yeah,
I would
it's not
hate
You know,
good.
I think as people, we're curious about those that we love. We want to know the past. But then once you get the information, you're like,
I want to
I'm
know
better off
nothing.
not knowing that.
I want
Yeah.
to know nothing.
That's not
No
true.
one existed
Sonny,
before
that's not
Sonny.
true.
I do
You've
not
never
want
asked
to
Manny once.
envision Manny with anyone else.
Well, that's
Well, you've
different
been
though
with
than
him
wanting to know the past.
20
But that's what this guy wants to envision his wife with
no,
someone
but he's
else.
just a horn
Right.
dog. That guy.
I would not want to envision my husband with somebody else.
And people make fun of me for not talking about my sex life, but I won't do it. It's a hard, fast rule. Not going to do it. Don't do that.
I feel I'm in hell right now.
Do you want to envision your husband with somebody else?
Who cares?
And she's not stopping.
You don't care about Steve?
He's been mine for many years. I don't need to see him. I got him when he looked good.
Steve, she's got
You have. And Steve loves
Steve
you
is
so
locked
much.
and loaded
He's
with
going
Joy
nowhere.
Behar. He's not going anywhere. Locked and loaded, ladies. Stay away.
Whoopi's not the jealous type. That's what it is.
No, you know
Neither
what?
am I.
Whoopi hates this
I'm very
topic.
jealous.
I
I
hate
was
this
happy to
topic
keep talking
because
about Trump.
This is going no, and I don't want to talk about him or his sex life or y'all's sex life. I don't care what y'all are doing. All I want is someone to tell me how I can get some balance back into my life, how my taxes are going to get more balanced, what's going on under the pillow. I want to know what's going on with the dog. I want to know. That we'll be right back.
Sexual balance?
Hey, I hope you all check out my one-man show, Stories I Only Tell My Friends. I may even share a story or two today because I consider you guys my friends. And if you're my friend, can somebody take me to the airport later? I need a ride back.
From the Outsiders to the West Wing to Parks and Rec, Rob Lowe has been entertaining us for a while. He's looked damn good doing it, and it's always a pleasure to have him here on The View. Please welcome back the fabulous Rob Lowe.
I don't think I've kissed that many women early in the morning since 1985.
What do you think about that guy we were just talking about?
So he wants to know all the gory details?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that's one of those things you ask the question and then you're really sorry you asked.
That's what I was saying. Then you regret it later.
Yeah.
You want to know, but then you regret it.
I know, because once you know it, you can't unknow it.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it works in the back of your brain. It just starts
He
working
might
on
be,
stuff.
but he's having erectile dysfunction, the guy.
And he thinks that's the cure?
Yes, that'll do it, yeah. You know, men are visual.
That was part of the
We are visual.
article.
I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah.
We are.
It's too freaky for me. So I'm so glad to see you because I'm sort of walking.
She's playing Mother Abigail in The Stand,
Yes.
my favorite book ever Stephen King wrote.
Yes.
And I was in the original.
Yes, you were.
Yes, look.
Yes, you were.
And all of my scenes were with your character, and I had Ruby Dee.
Yes,
Oh,
you
Ruby
did.
Dee played
The
your
great
character.
Ruby Dee.
She's great. Was great.
And you're going to be so amazing in this role.
Well, I'm certainly old enough for it now. You're kind of crazy.
What are you supposed to be, 101 or something?
108 or 9 or 10.
yeah.
Who's playing my character, Nick Andros?
A
Do we
kid
know?
called Henry Zaga.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
I can't wait to see it. It's
Me
going to be
too.
great.
Same,
Me too.
yeah.
I'm excited. You know, I've been waiting because I was supposed to do it originally when you guys
didn't
were
know
doing
that.
it. And then I used to be a big old movie star.
You were too young, probably.
I was probably
Yeah.
too young, but I also had another job where they said, no, we're not going to let you go and do anything else. And it was like, okay.
I remember Ruby Dee would sleep in her old age makeup. It was such a process.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was it took so long to do.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
She doesn't
look 108.
No.
Well, she's so beautiful, and you couldn't do anything to make her look old. She was just so great looking.
You know
In a funny way, that's what happened to me. Anyway.
Do you know how many days I wish the West Wing cast was in the White House right now? I loved you in West
Thank
Wing.
you.
I loved
No,
that show so much.
I heard something as I was about to come out here, that there's someone on this panel who has never seen the West Wing. Is this true?
Okay, so this is the thing. There's allegedly a character based on my dad, and it's very political. And as you know, I'm the one that's watching 6 hours of cable news on the weekend because I grew up with cable news on all the time, so I can only take so much politics. But I will watch it if you would like.
It's
I
so
will start
good.
watching
It's
tonight.
so
Okay.
good.
But I have seen almost every single episode of Parks and Rec. Does that count?
Well, that's good. That counts as something. I'll take that.
Fantastic show
Thank
to
you.
be brought back.
And really, I have to give one more shout out to him. Beyond the Candelabra, hilarious.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That might be one of my favorite things I've ever
You
done.
were so funny as these. He played a plastic surgeon.
I played a plastic surgeon with a really bad facelift.
For Liberace.
and to be able, when I get to play characters, it's really fun for me.
I want to ask you about your new character.
Yes.
You're still busy. So you have a new project called 911 Lone Star.
Yep, this is Ryan Murphy and I are producing it together.
And it premieres in January.
Yep.
And you start as a complicated New York City firefighter. Then you
right.
move to Texas, to Austin. How did you train for this
It was
role?
great. I had a great. I love playing real life heroes.
Yeah.
I really do love that, and so I spent a lot of time with the LAFD. The city I live in, Santa Barbara, had horrible wildfires a few years ago. So I actually had a lot of the guys camping and staging at our property. But I also, do you have the clip of me going down the fire pole really slowly?
Just showed it,
That, by the way, can I tell you, on the show, I'll go down faster. I'm just saying, that's the slowest. Look at how slow that is. That's not good. That's not what you want from your fire.
It's a hard job being a firefighter.
It is hard.
It's hard. Heavy equipment.
Almost like a
Really
pole
heavy
dancer.
equipment. You have to be in great shape.
Yes.
And the show is going to be fantastic. I've got Liv Tyler joining me on it.
her.
We're gonna have a blast.
Well, I'm going to out myself. I haven't seen The West Wing either.
Oh, my
so maybe
gosh,
we
you
can watch
guys.
it together. But I have seen almost
There's
everything
a
you've
sort
been
of
in.
Ainsley Hayes thing going on here.
Yes.
West Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
that's right.
But if you need some levity and you need some enjoyment in politics, just binge
Well,
watch
Brian
that shit.
Teta, our executive producer, keeps on telling me I've got to watch it, that it's like the best show ever.
Brian's freaking out that you're here.
It'll be a soothing
Yeah.
balm.
But I've seen almost everything else you've done. I love About Last Night, actually. I love that. It's
Thank
one of my
you.
favorites.
Thank you.
You were part of the Brat Pack, right, in the 80s. You starred with Demi Moore in of course, St. Elmo's Fire, About
Right.
Last Night.
Thank you.
And she has this new memoir out, and she writes openly about struggling with addiction at the time you were working together. What's your reaction to her?
She was the first person I ever knew who got sober. Wow. She was a huge inspiration to me.
Wow.
Because it was the 80s. We were all doing our thing. And I just remember thinking, well, if that girl can get sober, anybody can. And, and so when it came, I've been sober now 29 years.
29 years.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was, everybody has that person in their life where they go, oh, that's a great example. So it was.
But
it
you
was very
said that you loved rehab. What did you love about
I
it?
loved rehab.
Why? Why?
Because
I've never heard anyone say that.
I loved it. Really? Loved it. Because I knew that I needed answers that I didn't have.
No.
I learned them there. I was always a pleasure to have in class anyway.
Oh, of course.
So it was like going to school to learn how to live your life with tools that nobody ever taught me.
Yeah.
And
But give us one tool. Can you remember one?
there were so many. I mean, here's one of the great ones I learned is never compare your insides to someone else's outsides. I spent a lot of time.
You never know what's going on.
Yeah,
Right.
I spent a lot of time always thinking, should I be doing this, and that person's is doing that, and
compare and contrast.
Yeah.
The competitive thing in the business is very strong. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And also just, I mean, it changed my life.
Yeah.
It was, I have great empathy and people who can just do it themselves. I needed like experts.
Most people do.
Yeah, and it was great. It was fantastic for me.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Do you share some of these stories in your one-man show called Stories I Only Tell My Friends Live?
I do my show. In fact, that's one of the.
Wow.
Yeah, look, it's been such a fun tour. and I love doing it. And it's sort of like a TED Talk, but less pretentious.
I love that.
And a lot less smart. And it's sort of like a stand-up, and it's stories.
I'm sure it's funny, right?
Are you doing it in Vegas?
It's
Is
very
that
fun.
true?
I'm doing it. I've done it in Vegas twice. I'm coming back to Vegas. I'm doing Atlantic City, and I'm finally coming to Southern California too.
Can I quickly give your family a shout out? Because you've been married to Cheryl for 28 years.
Yes.
You have 2 boys, grown sons, Matthew and John. I love them on your social media because you will put out on your Instagram things like, we can show this, St. Elmo's Fire Era, hashtag throwback. And then your sons have all these hilarious comments humbling you. He writes, somebody's been Googling himself. And he goes on and on. You have another one. If you are not wet from your workout, you're probably not working hard enough. Your son says, the subtle art of taking a selfie in front of your Emmy nomination.
I've raised 2 internet trolls. That's basically what has happened to me.
But they're funny.
They're funny little guys.
Funny as hell.
Yeah. It's
great.
Listen, you know, our door is always open to you because it's always a pleasure.
I love
to
being
see
here with you guys.
It's
You guys are the
fun.
best.
Well, come back.
I will.
Come back as often as you want. And by the time you get back, most of them will have seen.
Yes.
I'm expecting
Sunny.
I'm expecting reviews. I'm
Yes.
looking at this side of the table.
Episode of Parks and Rec.
I'm looking at this side of the table.
Don't ask for reviews. It's a mistake.
Okay, that's a good point.
Our thanks to Rob Lowe. 911 Lone Star will premiere in January. He'll hopefully be back before then. And you can check out Rob's show, Stories I Only Tell My Friends, live in Thousand Oaks on November 9th and at Planet Hollywood, Las Vegas on February 15th. And we, of course, will be right back.